Good afternoon, everyone. This is Caesar with Inspire Movement. Hope you're having a lovely start to your work week. Today, we're going to continue with the segment entitled Word of the Day, and we're going to be looking at the word trauma. So, trauma by definition is having an emotional response to something terrible that happened in your life, such as an accident, or possibly being a victim of sexual molestation or rape, or being a part of a natural disaster. So, what happens when we are experiencing something terrible like this? The natural thing is to be in some form of denial and shock. But then what can also happen is that you have some form of long-term effect, which starts with uncontrollable emotions, having flashbacks, having physical symptoms that can include things like headaches and nausea, among other things. So if you think that you may be suffering from some form of traumatic stress, what could you be asking yourself? Does something in your past prevent you from enjoying your life right now? Meaning to say, are you unable to live in the present because you're so stuck in the past? Do you fear certain relationships? Do you fear neglect? Do you fear some form of abuse? Do you have this lingering fear that doesn't allow you to enjoy your life today? Do you have such a pain and suffering that you're unable to function in daily life? These are some of the questions that you could ask yourself just to identify if you are in fact a victim of traumatic stress right now. And what can you do? What can you aspire to do in order to deal with this? Well, some coping mechanisms include leaning on your friends and family. So try to identify who is your support group and try to lean in on them so that you can hopefully start a conversation over something that you may have never conversed about with someone that cares for you and loves you. Also try to face your feelings. The natural thing for us to want to do is have some form of avoidance because it hurts and we don't want to really have to deal with whatever it is that happened to us in the past. But to try to find a way to ease yourself into a normal routine, and it starts again with leaning on your family. Then thirdly, try to exercise some form of self-care. So once you've taken those initial steps, then try to lean in on having nutritious meals every day, having some form of physical regimen that involves exercise every day to move your body, and ultimately aim to have a normal night's rest. That's also very important, exercising some form of self-care. And lastly, be patient, because what you're going through is going to take time in order to heal. So just take it one day at a time. Now, if you are experiencing some form of traumatic stress and it's gone too far, you'll know because you can't cope at work, you can't cope with your important relationships. Daily function is just something not possible for you right now. And there is help in the form of psychologists, mental health counselors. There's 1-800 hotlines that are available as well as an initial point of contact and conversation. Try to lean in on that to try to find a pathway forward. Now, as I personally reflect with this word trauma, I don't feel that the things that I've experienced in the past, the hardships that I have had to contend with, really classify as traumatic stress. However, I do have family members that have experienced traumatic stress or traumatic stressful experiences. And what I've witnessed from them is essentially how they have in fact leaned in on friends and family to be able to begin the pathway towards healing by at least getting all of this stuff out from their body, from their soul, really. So I think that's definitely a pathway to healing. And my prayer for anybody that's already experienced that initial conversation is that you can find a way to come to full normalcy and have a beautiful future as you so very much deserve. And for those of you that are watching that haven't had that initial conversation yet, that you can properly identify what your support group is and who you can lean on to have that very important conversation so that the gateway for happiness can be open for you. That is my prayer for you. Again, we do these with all love, respect, and honor, and we hope to hear from you. Some form of feedback would be always greatly appreciated. Please sync up with us at www.inspiremovement.com, as we always have some really cool content for you. And again, we're just here to serve. Thank you so much and have a